Alright, I would like to congratulate you upon successfully joining my course, our course in sound design. Well, to be honest, it's going to be a two-way sharing of experience, because as long as you can hear sound, you can make sound. And in this video, I'm going to be explaining what sound design is and why we need sound design. This is the first in this video course. Alright, so sound design is basically the process through which we take a simple waveform and transfer it into multiple layers of timbre to give us a color we want, so that we make music. Say we want to make bass sound, but what kind of bass? An acid bass, a funk kind of bass, or a heavy bass? So it all depends. I could use a sawtooth waveform or a sine wave, or depending. But all sounds are made from waves, and a wave is just a disturbance in air particles and the way they move. Okay, so if I played a note, that's just one note. So how the particles move of air to create this sound, they move at different speeds. At the higher speed they move, the higher the pitch of the note. See? And the lower speed gives you, the lower pitches. In other words, I'm talking about frequency. So sound design is not only about waveforms and, manipulating them. It's also about the logic, what you're going for. Sometimes we start making music without knowing exactly what we want to achieve, but we just kind of get there and experiment. Now, ladies and gentlemen, allow me mention that using samples, loops, and other techniques of music production also involves another level of sound design, because the other aspect of sound design is making the sounds work together to give you a beautiful harmony or chord or song, in other words. So you could do things with samples where you get them, pitch them down or up, change their formats, and resample them and reorder. That can qualify for sound design at some level, but what we are going to be focusing on in this course is synthesis. And this is sound design with synth machines or synthesizers. Sorry, hard word. Audio engineers started to look for a way to make music using unique sounds they had made from electric circuit boards, and synth machines got their birth there, and they mangled these waves and things to make sounds. But today these machines are too expensive, so we use a MIDI keyboard and software synths. I'm going to just open up some examples of software synths here. I'm going to be showing you examples of synth machines. and there's this called tone. That's not its sound. Wait, this. Okay, so just like I told you, it uses oscillators and filters to create sound. It's a software. I'm playing on my MIDI keyboard. You can follow by these white keys here. And so far that's how it sounds. It has some prefects. I'm going to be showing you another example, which is Serum. Serum is my favorite. Let me just arm the track. And that's the first oscillator, oscillator A. Oscillator B, which is off now, a filter, envelopes, modulation section, noise, and some nice stuff here. Voices, pitching a wave. Let me just do one example. Say I have this waveform. I say I need 4 voices of that sound. Say I'm going for a pad sound. I'm going to detune them a bit. And then I'm going to phase them. And to get my final pad, I can filter out some high frequency. And now I have a pad. I'm going to show you an example of Ableton stock plugin, a very powerful synth I love very much, Wavetables. And this is wonderful for a stock plugin. It's too powerful to be free. It has 2 oscillators down here. I'm going to switch off the second oscillator, and we are going to start at the first oscillator, and I'm going to load the basic shapes. These are the basic waveform shapes, a sine, and it transforms. That's a sine as it transforms to something else, square. So upwards. I'm going to open up the filter, actually take it off for now. We want to hear these sounds, see? Okay, and this is Ableton. Say I want to make a lead sound. That's a nice pitch. I like this for a lead. Let me cut off some. And now I already have something that sounds like an FM piano. So I can add some effects or send it to a reverb. See? Let me take it out. Send. But instead of that, I'll put an effect here, say a reverb. Audio effects, take a simple reverb and put it on here. Turn it up. See, and give it a local. See, just by doing that, let me just put that at 100. Now I bring in a second oscillator, switch it on, basic shapes. Hear that? I switch on a sub. Hear the sub. 2 octaves down. 1 octave is enough. So if I just move change this see I have a nice sound there. It has an oscillator, same thing, and a filter, a matrix for modulation, and a lot of hidden stuff down here for the semitones, the detuning by octave, and a lot of stuff we shall see. And I'm going to demonstrate one more for today, which is going to be our third go-to, called the Ableton operator, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4 oscillators ABCD. By clicking them, I turn them off. Now I turn them back on. This is oscillator 1. When I turn it on, now that's the sine wave in the oscillator section. If I change the sine wave to a saw, see, if I change it to something else, it will change. Let's work with, say, a sine wave on this one, just sine, and add a second sine, but instead of adding a sine, let's add a saw with a sine and turn up the saw. See? And then that I'm clicking with my mouse, I can set later to use an LFO to control this level, or I can use the envelope later on, this envelope, to control this movement. See, if we add another sine here now and turn it up a bit, see, but now let's say because these are tuning, they work with a timbre. Okay, what I can do for this sine is I can go in and change the overtones. This would be the first overtone from the fundamental is the octave. The next is a perfect fifth, so I don't need this. I already have a fundamental. This is a fifth. It's also not significant. And then we get perfect fourth, I believe. I believe this would be the major third. And if I turn this up, see? And that's how we mangle this sound. I can, if I add an effect on this, say reverb, see how that works here. See, we get a nice part. For now, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining, and I'm looking forward to seeing you. I'll be giving you the procedure So after the second lesson, I'll require you to make a payment to a method I'll tell you in the next video. And after you make the payment, you'll need to send a screenshot as proof of payment, and I'll give you access to the site where I'm going to be teaching this course. I'm looking forward. Come, let's make music, let's learn from each other, and most of all, samples are good, but try to make your own sounds, get some signature sounds. Peace. Until we meet again, I'm Dion Mary, and greetings from the Sound House.